What is up, YouTube? What is up, Team Blind? It's Blind Spot here with you, and today I'm bringing you the start of a new series, and this series is called Everyone Has a Story. And what you'll be seeing in the background is not any visually impaired gameplay, because this is the gameplay of my special guest this evening, MrChaosMath, aka Eric, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks, Christian, for having me on. It's really great to be here. So yeah, my name's Eric. My channel is MrChaosMath, and basically what I'm doing is bringing a mix of Call of Duty and my experience as a musician to YouTube, and trying to work in music in any way possible that I can do it into my videos. So that could involve me recording some music and putting it over gameplay. I'm trying to experiment with using my studio in sort of IRL videos inside of those, and so yeah, just basically trying to have some fun and do something a little bit different and involve music any way that I can do it.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys haven't had a chance to check out his channel, make sure you do so. He does some really amazing stuff with music. I'm a lover of music, always have been, and always will be. And like Eric said, he's a musician and a true musician at that. So definitely check out his channel. Today we're going to focus on something a little different. Again, the title of this series is Everyone Has a Story. My story time with Blind Spot episodes have been what I would say remotely successful. You guys seem to enjoy it. And the people I've met, the messages I've received in regards to other people that have challenges in life and trying to remain positive and being inspirational. It's one of the main reasons I wanted Eric to join me today on this dual com. And Eric has an interesting story that I think all of you will enjoy. And Eric, you have a son, right? His name's Max, and how old is he?
He's well, he's going to be 4 years old in August, so he's a little bit over 3.5.
Fantastic. And as I understand it, he has high functioning autism. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
And so
Yep.
maybe explain to our viewers and to me, to be honest, I have some ignorance and it's a fault of my own. But explain to me, what does that mean? What does that mean for a daily life for you and your family? And just kind of give us a rundown of how that goes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and you're not alone, and I'm actually still learning myself. So for anyone who's not sure, but what autism is it's a disorder with the brain that usually the onset is at about 3 years old, and what it is, it's a disorder that deals with the development of the brain as far as in regards to communication and social behavior, and how the brain comprehends and reacts to various stimuli. So whether that's sight, sound, people's conversation, that sort of thing. So one of the really interesting things about autism is that it's almost unique to everybody who has it. Everybody's seen the movie Rain Man.
Yeah.
That's with Dustin Hoffman, and he played a sort of a savant autism patient who had an incredible intellect, but obviously had a lot of challenges socially. And in essence, that's kind of a good snapshot of high functioning autism. So the other end of the scale is really tough. So some kids with autism might not ever speak. They might not ever have any sort of relationships with other people. They might never look people in the eye. So as you can see here, there's a really wide scale on how it affects an individual. And we're fortunate in respect with Max that he's high functioning and he communicates and he's affectionate. And he just has a lot of challenges with his development of speech and interacting with others. And
well, for sure. And I want to share with the viewers. Sorry to interrupt you there. I want to share with everyone. It was really difficult for me to get Eric to come on the channel and talk about this. Eric, on Eric's channel, he's never discussed this before, and it was something Eric and I have kind of built a friendship over the last few weeks, and it's something we've talked about personally between each other, but it's not something he's openly shared. And it took some convincing to get him to come on here. So I really appreciate that, and for you sharing this, because I know it can be difficult to. Growing up myself, my challenge, which is nothing compared to what you're dealing with, I was afraid to share it with people, and that's something I'll get into later. But tell me how does your music affect your relationship with Max? Does he enjoy it as much as you do? And I'm kind of curious, how it stimulates him.
Yeah, this is a sort of a really interesting part of the puzzle. Before his autism set in, I used to play my guitar to him almost every day. When he was a baby, I would sing to him and play guitar. Um, we would bang on things to make drums. As his autism, excuse me, sort of set in, what is really sort of the crux of his issue is how he reacts to a lot of auditory stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of certain sounds sort of give him anxiety attacks and make him very afraid.
Mm.
So unfortunately, one of the things that sort of happened over the last year is he can't quite take a lot of things, and so something like the guitar that he used to love and enjoy every day, he has a hard time listening to now.
Wow.
Drums, he likes to play them, but I've noticed it's getting a little bit harder for him to take some of the volume of it,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's sort of a delicate dance of trying to keep him in it and keep him exposed to it so that he doesn't sort of block it out.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
because he's very a lot of most kids with autism they're very dependent on routines. Okay, so they need things to happen in a certain way every day, and if it doesn't, it can get very upsetting to them. It's sort of how they protect themselves from an offending stimuli, as if they
Right.
know that they stick with a certain routine, they know they're going to be okay. So my challenge with music has been to try to find a way to keep that connection with him without obviously causing him any discomfort. If so, I'm not really playing as much as I used to with him.
Mm-hmm.
I know he does, and he wants to hear it. He wants to play music. Sometimes he just can't take it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
quite a challenge, and it was one of the really tough things for me as far as accepting it and dealing with it as it happened. Because again, autism doesn't it's not prevalent from birth. So
I see.
I sort of had to watch him change a little bit, and that was hard to do. And music, unfortunately, which was a real strong connection that we had, is sort of touch and go right now. I'm pretty positive that eventually he's going to overcome it, and he does have a deep rooted love for it, and he wants to do it,
Well,
which
that's
leads me to
awesome.
believe that yeah, he'll stick with it. But it can be tough.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that kind of leads me to my next question, Eric, and what I'm curious to know is, b- I have children of my own, and I
Hmm.
take that you take that split second in your head and you think, what if, right? And I imagine
Yeah.
myself in your shoes, and by no means can I even do that any justice. But what was it like for you? And what did you have to change about yourself, or what happened, kind of within you, as this started, the onset happened. I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, for anyone who, and the whole reason why I decided to do this commentary, Christian, was, you had sort of asked me about it, and I had never really thought about it, and I was talking with my wife, and the biggest thing that she told me that sort of made me want to do this is, for anybody out there who's a parent and has a child with a disorder like this, you sort of feel alone when it starts to happen.
Hmm.
And of course, as you can imagine, there's a lot of anger and frustration, because I mean, who wants to see their kid have anything wrong,
Yeah,
or be
absolutely.
afraid or have any discomfort, and have such a huge challenge put on their shoulders? I mean, they're innocent, and then you just want them to be happy. So for me, initially I had a lot of misplaced anger and frustration, and I was maybe even in denial for a month or two,
Hmm.
sort of trying to talk myself that it was just a phase or whatever. So it was really, really hard in the beginning, and it, when it really started to come in, my daughter Catherine had just been born. She was born in September, and she was colicky, and
Mm.
so she was screaming all day, and
Oh man.
yeah, and so that screaming was giving Maximus anxiety attacks every day, all day,
Oh wow.
and it was just torture for all of us. And so I had all this anger about, why is this happening to my son, and I had to change a lot of things about myself. First of all, I had to accept it, and I had to be okay with it. And the way that I was able to do that was to imagine just how worse it could be.
Yeah.
Earlier I mentioned that the other side of the autism spectrum can be zero emotional response, no speech. Sometimes they never leave diapers,
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, it can really, depending on the severity of the autism, it can really cripple their ability to really do too much of anything. And
Yeah.
so I was able to accept it by realizing just how lucky we are to have him be as high functioning as he is. And, I still get 10 hugs a day, and I talk to him, and I can play with him. And so for that, I'm so thankful. And
Yeah,
that was
that's
how
awesome.
I sort of dealt with it. But I had to learn patience that I never knew I had. I've never been the most patient man, but I certainly have had to learn
Well,
that.
let me say, man, I am just so inspired by your story. I can't. And I know we've never met in person, Eric, but I guarantee
Not yet, not
you're
yet.
not yet, but you're twice the man I am. I mean,
Uh,
to be able to overcome something like that, and I just know from speaking to you the last few weeks that you're just a fantastic person. So,
well,
um,
thank you. But you know what? I know, and for you're a parent, and it's obvious how much you love your kids. You do the same thing, and not to take away from any of the accomplishments that I made, because you do have to really sort of become a better person and a better
yeah,
man, a better husband, a better
grow in leaps
father,
and
all of
bounds.
it.
Yeah.
But if you love your kids and you do anything for them, and I never looked back and I never thought twice about it, and I'm sure you'd do the same thing.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I would like to think that, anyways. But I imagine, I mean, your relationship. I imagine with your wife, you guys really have to really kind of work together. I mean, it probably strengthened, I would imagine, your relationship just with your
yeah,
wife because you just realize that you have this, this thing you need to work together at dealing with,
yes,
right? And you have to be there
yeah,
and
oh, yeah,
support each other, right? So,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, little things like going to the doctor to get a shot,
hmm
or being on the street and having a really loud fire engine go by, or a cop car with a siren.
yeah.
We're never really safe from a potential episode.
hmm
And so we've had to lean on each other in a lot of different ways. Obviously, it's and anybody who's in a situation like this, it will put a strain on your relationship. But at the same time, if that's a strong relationship to begin with, that strain ends up leading to more strength. And
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
yeah, absolutely, we lean on each other when we need it. There's days where it sort of wears me down, and she picks me up, and I'm there to pick her up, and
That's awesome.
yeah, it's brought us all together, and we're just all so close.
Well, I think our gameplay's winding down here, but I think everyone on this channel probably feels the same as I do. That you have an amazing story, and I'm sure everyone at Team Blind is gonna go visit MrChaosMath's channel and show this guy some love, guys. And what a fantastic guy, what a fantastic family, and definitely we need to meet sometime. That would be
Oh,
amazing.
we're definitely gonna do that, man.
So
Absolutely. And
make
yeah, and I, like you said, I haven't really mentioned any of this on my channel yet. But in regards to just my channel, I'm just trying to have some fun, and maybe I'm gonna start opening up a little bit more about my life, just having come on here. It does feel kind of good to talk about it, honestly.
Oh, for
So
sure. I would. It's great therapy. I would definitely
yeah,
recommend it. And the other thing I was going to mention to you is, I was watching some of your videos. I know you played in a band before. I think for a year and a
yeah.
half you're on tour. You probably have some crazy stories, man. You got to give us some of those stories.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many of them I can actually tell.
That's
That's
right.
I
That's right.
guess.
You're probably sworn to secrecy. But
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
thanks so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Love your stuff. And yeah, everyone go check him out and give this guy some love.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It's been a real pleasure. I hope we can do it again soon.
Yeah, you bet. Take care. Peace.
All right, thanks everybody.